Hello everyone! Well, I'm opening a New Year's marathon of recipes. Yes, in November it may seem early, but I have a lot of recipes that I want to share with you, and the first video will be dedicated to a beautiful New Year's menu. There are many dishes with a high content of vegetables and greens, and besides the fact that it always looks very beautiful and appetizing on the table, it is also useful. I remind you that I already have a large playlist where there are an incredible number of various snacks, second courses, salads. Be sure to look there. You will find something interesting. Don't forget to check out my other social media profiles, linked in the description. And there in the description you will find a detailed list of ingredients that we used with you today. In general, look in the description. There is a lot of useful information there. Well, we proceed to the preparation with you. Let's start with salads. They all cook very quickly. The first salad is a salad of tuna and feta. A very simple and quick recipe. You don't even need to cook anything here. I lay out salad leaves on a dish. I have a mix of different ones. Next, I cut up a cucumber, cherry tomatoes. You can take regular ones, but cherry ones are sweeter and more aromatic. That's why I chose them. I cut it into 4 parts. Now the tuna. I have it in oil. You can take it in its own juice. The main thing is that it's tasty. Next are the olives. I cut them in halves, distribute them around the plate. Now the red onion, it can be marinated in advance. I also distribute it. I cut the feta into cubes and also distribute it over the dish. Let's prepare the filling. Combine vegetable oil. You can use olive, lemon zest and lemon juice. Dried oregano, salt, pepper. And I distribute the sauce. The salad is ready. Next, we prepare a warm salad with chicken. I've cut the breast into medium pieces and I want to marinate it for juiciness. For this, I add soy sauce and garlic to the breast and leave it for 30 minutes. I recommend frying the chicken just before serving so that it retains its juiciness, crispiness, and stays warm. Now we roll it in breadcrumbs or tempura and fry it. Fry it in vegetable oil over high heat until done, about 5 to 7 minutes on each side. Let's prepare the sauce. Blend the brie, pesto sauce and vegetable oil in a blender. If the sauce is too thick, add a little more vegetable oil. Assemble the salad. Lay the greens at the bottom of the bowl. Now thinly sliced cucumber. I sliced it with the help of a vegetable peeler. Next, chicken and sauce. Sprinkle the top with nuts. You can grate some parmesan. We're making a salad with caramelized mandarins and carbonado. I've peeled the mandarins and removed the white pith. I'm going to melt the butter and sugar in a skillet. I'm adding the mandarins and caramelizing them. For the sauce, mix mustard, vegetable oil, pepper, salt. You can add a bit of mandarin or apple juice. Mix it up, assemble the salad at the bottom of the dish, add greens, red onion, slice it. Of course you can cut it differently, but I wanted it in such large stripes. Now the caramelized mandarins. And the sauce, the salad is ready. Look at my New Year's playlist. There you will find more salad recipes, including more hearty ones. Now for the appetizers. Let's start with a very simple, tasty and quick appetizer of pickled cabbage, which I have previously pickled, and cheese cut into cubes. I have goat cheese. Now I skewer it on a skewer. First the cabbage, then the greens, and then the cheese, so that the cheese remains white without traces of cabbage. I advise you to first skewer the cabbage on all skewers. Wash your hands from its juice and only then skewer everything else. As they say, good thought comes afterwards. We pour everything with honey, sprinkle with nuts, decorate with mint, and the appetizer is ready. The next appetizer will be chicken in bacon. The fillet was previously beaten. Of course, you can also marinate it in advance. Now I cut the fillet so that the fillet and bacon are the same width. I put a strip of fillet on a strip of bacon and roll it into a roll. I assemble the mold, pour vegetable oil, sprinkle with spices and sugar. The sugar will add sweetness and caramelize. You can make the rolls a bit in advance. Wrap the form in cling film and put it in the fridge. Then, before the guests arrive, put it in the oven preheated to 200 degrees for 20 minutes. You can turn on the convection. At the end of the dish, sprinkle with green onions. Quick, beautiful, tasty. Mini pies of puff pastry. I thought the puff pastry in advance. My pastry is yeast-free. I roll it out and cut it into squares suitable for the mold. I have such molds, but if you don't have them, you can use a muffin mold. I lay the dough in the mold, distribute it well, trim the edges. Now the filling. Mix the greens, cheese, a little cream. I have 33% fat and greens. I mix it well, distribute the filling in the mold and put the pies in the oven preheated to 180 degrees for 15 minutes. I cut the bruschetta with ham into triangles and toasted it for 3 minutes in the oven. Now I spread mayonnaise and mustard on the bread. Better not grainy, ordinary. On a skewer, I put half a cherry, arugula, ham, and toast. The bruschettas are ready. I decided to roast Brussels sprouts with bacon for garnish. I halved the sprouts and boiled them in salted water until they were done. I cut the bacon, distribute it over the sprouts, season with salt, pepper, add some olive oil, and put it in the oven under the grill for 15 minutes. Both the bacon and the Brussels sprouts should brown nicely. Hot fish and salt. You don't need to clean the fish from the scales. The fish was gutted. I additionally removed the gills. I have a rainbow trout. You can take base dorado, carp or trout. I sprinkle the inside with lemon juice. Sprinkle with pepper. You can put herbs inside for aroma and leave it while we make the salt crust. I whip 2 egg whites a little, add salt. I use just under 1 kilogram. I mix it. It turns out to be such a crumbly dough. I lay out a little mixture of salt and egg whites on parchment, put the fish on top and salt on top. Don't worry, the fish won't be over-salted. The main thing is that the salt doesn't get into the belly. Now we send it to the oven, preheated to 200 degrees for 30 minutes. The fish turns out to be tender, juicy and fragrant. And now it's time for dessert. It's also very quick and without baking. First of all, I'll soak the gelatin and leave it to swell. For the base, I took sandy cookies, grind them in a blender, add melted butter, mix, and the base is ready. I've set a mold on the plate. It's 16 centimeters in diameter. I send the crumbs to the bottom and tamp it down. I'm mixing 9% cottage cheese with sour cream and powdered sugar, combining until homogeneous. I made a puree from black currants last summer from garden berries. Just slightly boiled them, mashed them, removed the skins and froze it like that. You can take frozen berries. Also slightly boil them, mash them and strain through a sieve so there are no skins. Instead of black currants, you can take any berry, for example, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. I warmed up the puree in the microwave. There I also melted the gelatin in pulses, combining gelatin and puree, and I send this mixture to the cottage cheese mass. I will go through it again with the blender so there are no lumps. I pour the mixture onto the baking sheet and send it to the refrigerator until it is fully stabilized, about 4 hours. It took me, of course, to make this cake in a day. The main thing is to cover the top with cling film so that nothing dries out. I decorate with rosemary and soft chocolate chips. Such a beauty turned out. Very tasty, delicate, not cloying, with a bright taste and aroma of berries. Let's look at the final version. Such a chic table turned out. I really hope you like it. Bon appétit! Bon appétit! Well, this is the kind of table we got. Write in the comments how you might have a wish for other New Year's menu, New Year's recipe. Write for sure. I will read. I will take something into service. I remind you that all recipes can be found in the description under the video. There will also be links to my other social networks and to my big New Year's playlist. We meet with you in the comments and in the following videos. That's all for today. Your Sasha. Bye-bye.